good morning. Well, it's 4:41 on Sunday, Earth Day, and several years throughout my turkey hunting career I've killed a turkey, there's a cool owl, on Earth Day. So hoping for some luck today. The skies are clear. You can see here it's already getting light this early in the season. 29 degrees outside. I know there's some turkeys roosted up on this ridge. They roost there all the time. The game cameras have captured a few of them throughout the season. I haven't checked them in more than a week. I don't know if there's a mature longbeard in the group, but I've seen some strutting birds with full fans and small beards. So we'll see what we find up there. I hiked around National Forest Land yesterday for a good chunk of the afternoon. Didn't hear anything. Saw one hen and some scratchings and some droppings, things like that. But this spot's been pretty good to me the last, I don't know, 6 years or so that I've been hunting. So I have high hopes for this, at least hearing stuff this morning, although they typically are pretty henned up this time of year. So we'll check with you in a little bit. I'm so pumped up right now. So the bird was roosted right over in this area, and I heard him way up on top, and I thought, oh, couldn't decide where it was coming from. My directional hearing is not very good. And then finally pinpointed him, got close. He was gobbling at everything, and not necessarily my calling, but any sound. He flew down, and then the boss hen came with him, and she pulled him away, and I've been chatting with her for hours. Not hours, but it feels like it. Just anything she threw at me, I just threw it right back in her face. You're dead. It was an awesome morning. Earth Day, April 22nd, 2018. Super excited to present this big boy after a lot of patience on my part. Not a ton, but more than I usually exhibit on a given hunt. I climbed up the ridge early this morning, where I usually see them on the game camera, where I've got a game camera placed. The turkeys were actually roosted further down in the timber, so I had to make a U-turn, came back, got as close as I could on the roost, gobbling hard at everything, not my calling, but all the other sounds, crows, ravens. There's a rooster out somewhere, so they could hear him. And then a couple of hens with him that I could hear on the roost, and then they all pitched down. He started working towards me in full strut, and then the boss hen was on the other side, and she was pulling him towards her. And it was hard to compete with that, but we had a pretty long, heated conversation, the two of us, for about 25 minutes. And finally, I convinced them all, after setting up 2 different times, to make a U-turn and come back up the road and come my way. So had to wait for 2 hens to clear at about 40 yards. He never knew I was there, was in full strut, so I kind of moved my head a little bit. He lifted his head just enough, and I made a shot at about 40 or 45 yards. Clean kill. It was just an awesome experience. The other birds took off, and he flopped for a little bit, and then he was done. He looks to be about a 3-year-old bird. He's got 1-inch spurs, probably close to a 10-inch beard. One of the bigger turkeys I've killed here, and then one of the wider tipped birds I've killed here. On this property, there seem to be more Rio to Eastern looking turkeys, and there shouldn't be anything introduced here like that, but it's been, this is definitely a unique color for this area, even though it's more characteristic of the Idaho Panhandle. So I'm totally pleased with this bird. My first one of the year in Idaho, second bird of the season, and we're going to take off and take him back to the house and put him on the Green Mountain Grill.